Hey, what's up, Big Nation? This is David Labby with Big Man Fitness coming to you today on June 1st, 2017. It's Thursday. So I'm coming up close to the end of week 13 and things are going strong. Diet's going good, exercise is going good. Ankle feels good, ankle is feeling better. For those of you just chiming in, I'm on a 13-week journey to lose weight and see what's possible. So far, I've lost 60 pounds. This in the last 13 weeks, less than 13 weeks. I did really good at the very beginning. I kind of stagnated in the middle, and then now I've just started to kind of move forward. And I've been trying to learn more about biohacking and, something that I'm calling now biohack stacking, where you take principles on different hormonal triggers that will help accomplish a larger goal. So I want to build muscle and burn fat. Now, you can maximize usually one or the other, building muscle or burning fat. But with what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to elevate both to a level where, let's say, it's in on a negative scale to a positive scale of -5 to 5, right? Where you're if you're in the negative, you're gaining weight. If you're in the positive, you're losing, fat. So I want to burn fat, build muscle. Now, normally, as I just said, you can maximize one or the other. Well, I'm trying to learn how to get maybe like a 2 or a 3 on both, where I'm building muscle and burning fat at the same time. And I've been doing that with ketosis, autophagy, paleo clean eating, the autoimmune protocol, and some other biohacking factors to help with the weight loss and the muscle building. So, I've lost 60 pounds, but I've lost 10 inches off my waist. I've gained 2 inches on my arms. My muscles are doing a lot better. I'm doing a lot better. I have more definition. My chest, I don't know if you can really see, but my chest is being more defined. Not to be weird. I know I'm still working on the moob status, but I'm definitely getting some more definition in my chest. I can actually see my collarbone, which is kind of nice. Definitely need to get rid of the beard. I'm going to be doing that before the end of the week. But with everything being said, I've lost 60 pounds in the last 13 weeks so far. I don't know what I'm going to be at the end of the week. I'm hoping that I'm going to be at more, 60, 65. Hey, I'm not really worried about it. I'm looking forward to the next couple for my next program. I'm just kind of staying tried and true to this one. I've been averaging for the last few weeks about 2 to 3 pounds a week. I'm hoping that that I might be able to accelerate it. And if I was able to put more effort into this, I think that I could have done a lot better if I didn't have work, if I didn't have my business, if I didn't But that's the thing, is that this is about achieving a workable lifestyle. Right? I was able to do this around my family, like working with my family, working, not through things. Because people talk about working through problems. Sometimes you have to work around these things. And, I don't want to talk as if family is a problem. Family itself is not the problem. That's not it at all. Family can cause problems. Let's just be honest. They don't know what the heck's going on. They're going to say, oh, if you don't eat enough, then you're going to hurt yourself, or they really don't understand the science behind the weight loss. Eating more fat, a moderate protein. I'm eating moderate fat and moderate protein, sometimes a little bit higher fat. I'm going to be going higher on the protein in my next protocol, my next phase, because I'm going to be trying to build more muscle and burn fat. So that's where I'm trying to go for next, is to maximize muscle building, maximize muscle building, and maximize fat loss. So that's what I'm trying to do, and that's why I wanted to give you guys some key aspects of what I'm doing and what I'm working on. You guys can look it up. Autophagy, the autoimmune protocol, which is so autophagy is the destruction of cells to help rebuild them, right? You pretty much get rid of the whatever's not working properly, and then your body is able to rebuild. We're meant to have to wax and wane. At times of low food, times of high food, we're meant to break down and replenish. That's the natural cycle of things. So utilizing autophagy can help with creating more human growth hormone, HGH, which can help with your bodybuilding, and also your healing factor, your growth factor, a lot of other things that can go on with that it does for you in mitochondrial regeneration, limiting your mitochondrial not density. It's like density, but anyway, so how many mitochondria you have packed into a certain area. Mitochondrial efficiency, it's meant to break down, build up, break down, build up. Same thing with ketosis. Utilizing ketosis allows you to utilize triglycerides as an energy source. Some of you guys are like, what the hell is he talking about, triglycerides? Triglycerides is fat. Let's just keep it at that. Let's not overcomplicate things. Ketosis burns fat. Use your food to burn fat. That's what it's about. Next is, and it's adapting yourself to utilizing ketones and triglycerides, ketones and fat, for energy instead of glucose, carbohydrates. Simple carbohydrates get put into the bloodstream quick. That's why you eliminate all sugars, all simple carbs, no breads, no pasta, no root vegetables. Root vegetables, I just put it under, and starchy vegetables. So no corn, no onion. Corn's a starchy vegetable, and I would stay away from. So this is just the simplest form of this, and no potatoes, no sweet potatoes, no and limitation on onions, no carrots. Some people can get away with a few baby carrots or something like that. I personally don't, because they talk about the nutrient. You can get plenty of nutrition from asparagus, spinach, kale, and one of the other ones that I personally eat a lot is cabbage, sauerkraut, fermented cabbage, which really helps with your it's a probiotic and also a prebiotic because it has some vegetable matter. So it's kind of like a double whammy. Sauerkraut's really great for you. Pickles, which is great for some of your sodium consumption, and avocados. Avocados are fantastic because it has medium chain triglycerides and it's high in fiber. And it also is super high in potassium. So I eat an avocado a day at least, usually. It's only been like maybe once a week that I haven't eaten an avocado in some form or something like that, if that. Usually I'm very consistent with my avocado intake because I love avocados. Although I will say this, store-bought guacamole, stay away from it. It has so much crap in it, and it tastes horrible, absolutely horrible. I want to give you guys I'm going to show you guys how I make my easy, I call it easy guac, because I make an easy guac for my burgers, my salads, my pretty much everything, my tacos, I make tacos on lettuce wraps, romaine lettuce, which is fantastic. I absolutely love. It's kind of like my cheat, and it's really funny. I want to go into this real quick. My cheats now, my dietary cheats, are completely different than what they ever were before. The only thing that I consider a cheat now is that when I went to a restaurant, I had a salad, and I wasn't able to bring my own salad dressing, so I had to have in-house salad dressing. They told me that there was no sugar in it, but there's no guarantee. So I had something that had like a little bit of raspberry. There was like this little, it was like a handful of spinach on its side or something like that, and it had like some sort of raspberry, vinaigrette. It was less than a teaspoon, even at that. And I ate it without thinking, and it was kind of like, oh God, like what did I do? And then that's where you have to go, okay, in the large scheme of things, did today really screw me up? No, absolutely not. I'm not going to kill myself, and say that my entire experiment was ruined because I ate a little bit of salad dressing that was a side on, a larger plate. Same thing with sometimes I would order vegetables and they had butter in them. Normally, butter in ketosis is very keto friendly. I'm not utilizing butter right now. I'm not having mayonnaise. I'm not having condiments. My usual condiments I make myself at home. I make my own salad dressing, my own guacamole, and my own sauces. Anything that I have is usually home-based, so that way I know exactly what's in it. There's no sugar, no flour, no nothing. Right? And some of you are like, how the hell do you do that? and I'm like, it takes practice. It takes practice. But if you really want something, you will go out and get it. If you really want it, you will do what you need to do. Do it. You can. There's nobody stopping you. Nobody stopping you but yourself. We all have problems. My wife included she's been extremely supportive. Let me be very clear about that. Extremely supportive. But she did have inquiries. Like, I'm kind of worried about like how much, because I was eating pork rinds and I ate an entire bag. I was starving. I was absolutely ravenous. And I think I know why. I was having some hormonal issues because I think I ingested, as a matter of fact, it was that stupid salad dressing. I think I ended up knocking myself close because I was still producing ketones at the time, but I think I almost knocked myself out of ketosis because I went through a completely emotional trip. And then the next day I was just like ravenously hungry all day. And I did really good on fasting till almost the end of the day. And then I was just like, you know what? I still, like, we had dinner and I still needed to eat something. We were watching a movie and it was close to the time that, I had like an hour. I had like an hour before I could, because I usually stop eating at 8 o'clock at night. And it was like 7 and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to munch on some pork rinds. I didn't expect to finish the bag. It was a smaller bag, thank God. But that definitely put me up to my max caloric intake for the day, because I had only had that one meal plus my bulletproof coffee plus my bone broth and then the bag. So you got to be aware of these things. And anyway, she said something to me about it, and she was like, I'm really concerned about that. And I ended up dropping 3 or 4 pounds that week. Stick to a plan. I had given myself restrictions and guidelines so that way, in case something like that did happen, I didn't go too far overboard. I had those plans in place. Have a plan ahead. You're hungry. You want a couple tablespoons of peanut butter. A trick that I do, I'll go and I'll get a teaspoon. Right? And instead of using a tablespoon, I'll use a teaspoon and get a heaping teaspoon. So that way I can lick off the teaspoon of peanut butter, right? And I'm super excited because Sunday I'm having I'm having peanut butter, which I'm super excited for. But anyway, I kind of wanted to leave you off on that. You do your best. Just do your best. That's all. And pick one thing that you do not give up on, right? My thing was the quality of the food, in relation to ketosis, not having breads, pastas, sweet potatoes, no root vegetables, limited, very sparing. I ate onions sparingly, and I did really good at the beginning. I've kind of limited my onion intake even more now. Same thing with garlic, and not being like too crazy with my spices or anything like that. Still having very flavorful food. I'm very much big on flavor. So I wanted to be careful about that. But I just wanted to talk to you guys about this because it gets tough. And sometimes you go through these things, and I get a lot of questions like, what do you do when you're hungry? What do you do when you go out to eat? Like, is this hard when you go out to eat? Guys, every place that you go to has meat and vegetables. Just ask them nicely instead of a prepackaged, like I went to IHOP today, right? I ended up going to IHOP today with my uncle. We had, so he ordered like this meal thing that had a bunch of pancakes and stuff. I had mine. And all I got was steak, avocado, mushrooms, and broccoli. Oh, and bacon, a side of bacon. Steak with avocados, mushrooms, and broccoli on top, right? So it was just a little bit of mushrooms, a little bit of sauteed onions, and broccoli on the side, right? And then I had a side of bacon. Super easy, not difficult. Did it cost me a little bit more? It did. But also sometimes I've been to restaurants where they didn't really charge me that much more. They might charge you $1 or $2 extra for certain things, and sometimes when you talk to the manager, they're like, hey, like, I really don't want the pancakes. I really don't want this, but, I don't want to spend $25 on one meal if you're at a restaurant that, like, usually a meal is like $10 to $15. IHOP is like between usually, $12 to $18 per meal I worked in the restaurant industry a long time ago, so I know these things. And also, I used to frequent restaurants a ton. But, these things are doable. They're very doable if you have a plan and if you prepare for it. So remember, guys, be informed, stay motivated, live big. Whoop.